See some cross trade down here at the 43s, 44s. We're looking for an opportunity. We see the pullback column went negative here, so we're going to wait just for a second. The Globex lows all the way down to 39, and initiative buying came in from the 38s to about the 40s. We didn't get down there to test that yet. Our gap from the previous day's close on 2.4s all the way up to the 78s. The Globex session was interesting. It bounced off the 39s to 40s. Traded down there during a few periods from the I period to the V period during the Globex, and then it bounced up toward 50s. So I'm thinking this area that they're accumulating is probably a good area to accumulate some longs, even though there's a negative delta. You know how it goes. They take it down to take it up. I was hoping that the A period would go down a little bit lower to the 40s where that buying block was, but we only got down to 42. Trying to be patient here. Well, we see some cross trade building here at the 43s. We're going to take the 43.50s. And today we're going to make a concerted effort to keep our original position without bettering the position and see how it fares. One thing for sure, we won't get caught on the wrong side with 6 contracts. The 32 level is a significant area. It's the A period buying tail, the low of 131. That 32 area is an over and under area. If we've reached that, we certainly can be testing the lows of the recent range. Well, we are right down here now where I originally wanted to wait, which I didn't, in the 39s. So we're not going to better our position. We're just going to watch the market and see if we see some cross trade here, which we should, at the area where the buying came in yesterday at the close. We see some limited cross trade down here at 12 to 17, 16 to 15, 13 to 18. Now we need to take that passive order flow and hit the ask, hit the offers, and drive the market higher for that 39 to hold. Should have I had thought there was no surprise that they would take the Globex action out right down to the 38s, and we're accumulating now negative 12,000 delta. We need to see this area be supportive, otherwise we're going to be underwater on this trade. But we're not going to increase our contracts. We're just going to take a look to see what happens here in the 38s, 39s. Take a look to see what happens in the 32s. Hopefully we get a retracement. I hate that word. But we're going to stand tight here and stick by our original position. We see the cross trade starting to accumulate down here. We saw it there. We see it here. It's a good sign. And additionally, we have a 10-point range now in the 8 period. The wider the initial balance, the better chance we have for a balanced day. So we don't feel too bad being underwater with our 43.50s yet. Okay, we tested the Globex low. We took out the Globex low, and we're a tick above yesterday's N and M period lows. We still feel good with our 43.50s here. You can see a significant cross trade. We didn't better our position, which we normally would have down here. So we'll see how that stands, holds us here throughout the day. We'll try to be consistent. I will say if we would have bettered our position in the 38s, then our average would have been about 41. And then of course 43.50 would have been the area that we would have gotten out to break even and liquidated one of the other contracts for a few point gains. So we'll keep that in our mind also as to if that would have worked or not. Boy, it's really difficult not to better the positions. I don't particularly like not bettering my positions, but I said I'm going to try to stick by it and not do it. But if I did do it, I would have been in a better position. Our average price would have been 40.75. So, but we're just going to stay with it. I mean, you have to try it for at least a day, if not more, and give it some thought and try to make some comparative analysis. I wish I would have been patient this morning. I talked about being patient to wait for the 39s, and I could have got the 39s twice. See cross trade here, see cross trade there. Well, we're below yesterday's low by just a point. So this could be an area where there's some stop running from 37.50 to 35.50. If we break below 35.50, then 32 is absolutely in the target, which is the 31st 8 period low. Still holding the 43.50s. We didn't better the position. The 31st 8-period low is 33. We have a negative 17,000 delta, and we're already through the 8-period. 3 more minutes to go. I don't like that. We could be setting up, even though the 8-period range is close to 545, 13 points or so. That's a pretty big opening range. Would tell me that we're going to trade in a balanced market today and consolidate here in this January 31st A, B, C, D period, maybe same area where yesterday's sell-off occurred. So we're going to stand tight with our 4350s here because of that fact. The better decision making was once the Globex rallied to the 50s, there was usually I see they take the Globex inventory out of the market, and that should have been a realization that there was a really good probability that they would take the stops out from either yesterday or the 31st or approach the 31st low. We talked about that briefly at 39s. We had an opportunity to get to 39s. Of course, it went 5 points below the 4 points below the 39s, but we went more than that from our 4350 entry. So we were underwater as it was. And you know, from the open, we had an opportunity to take some points toward the low. That is a wonderful way, you know, to trade if you can be that skilled. Obviously, I'm not there yet, but it's a good goal. Well, if we would have taken the opportunity to better our position down at the 8-period low, we certainly would have had a profit by now. So, so far, I don't particularly like that aspect of the strategy. I felt comfortable trading 4 contracts. I don't feel comfortable trading 6 contracts. The 4 contracts during January seemed to work out well, but you know, that's the way it is. We'll stick here with our 2, and at 4350 we have a ways to go to reach any significant targets. Well, we didn't get our first target of 44.75. It came close. If we would have, here I'm talking about this again, if we would have averaged in at a lower price, we certainly would have been filled with probably a nice 5-point trade by now, but we didn't do that. I just don't seem to have the patience to want to trade like that. I just like trading 2 and 2, and for the most part that's held me in good stead. It's just that's when I get to the 6th, that's when I get killed. So this trade, we obviously have to stay pat, but I'm not sure I have the ability to trade with just 2 lots the rest of the day. I think I'll be looking to better the position if there is an opportunity. I wouldn't mind spacing those positions out further than 2 points, like we had mentioned yesterday in the snippets. Okay, we got filled on the 44.75s. Of course, we'll put our stop in at 43.50. We see some significant cross trade up here, and my gut tells me this is an area of resistance here. I don't think we're going to get above the 44.75s, 45s. Our target's still above here. Our stop is 43.50. So it's pretty close to this cross trade. Let's just hang in here and see if in fact this cross trade caps the market, and then of course we get stopped out at 43.50. There's not much on yesterday's chart at 43.50, 44. There is a block of trade that spans a few points actually, though, 42 to 44. That's probably why this cross trade is evident here. Okay, we're going to liquidate the trade at 44 and look for a short position here. The reason we liquidated the trade at 44 was because of all the cross trade. Let's take the 43.5 short. 42.25 is our target on the first contract. Well, we see the trade at the 43.50s are underwater. The cross trade here blew right through, and then we see a little bit of activity on the offer here. The 46 area is up near the 8-period high here, so we'll look for a rotation back down toward the point of control in the 40s. Just a quick observation, you'll see that on this run up there was a 68 negative delta, and on the retest there was an 87 negative delta. It was more negative delta on the retest than the first time up, and no surprise that the market sold off a little bit. We're still underwater with the 43.50s though, but we haven't bettered our position. It's the second trade we're trying to follow our protocol today of only keeping 2 contracts. Okay, we got filled at the 42.25. We'll keep our target at 38 on the last contract. Put our stop in and break even at 43.50. Well, it didn't hit our 43.50 stop, but came to 43.25, awful close.